Hi, do you know what my thoughts are today? Obviously, the big news for the past few days has been Israel's attack on Iran to deal with their prospective or their budding or their nascent nuclear program, the increasing proximity of the Iranians being able to produce a nuclear weapon. And actually, a little news on this, which may be old news by the time you're seeing this, because I recorded them the day before you're seeing them, but as you may know, the president was in Canada for a G7 meeting, and he cut it short. He left suddenly, and he is now in the Situation Room in the White House, where, as somebody pointed out, that's usually where the president goes to, with all staff around him, to watch some event, military event happening somewhere in the world. So the speculation is that something big is about to happen in Iran, either from the Israelis or from us. I don't know, or both, but aircraft, the Nimitz has been moved into the area sooner than scheduled. That's an aircraft carrier. Other assets, I understand, are in or going to the area. And, by the time you see this, you may know what happened. Today, I don't know what happened as I'm recording this or what will happen, but there's been a lot of speculation that something must be happening. And then the president gave an unusual, on the plane going back, flying back, I think that was where it was, 1:30 in the morning. He did a little press conference, took questions from reporters. So first of all, being up at 1:30 and talking to the press. So maybe something big is going to happen. But I want to talk Gaza and the Palestinians seem to have been it's been relegated to the back burner because of everything that's happening, understandably, of course, in what's happening with Iran. But I thought I had this video I'm about to show you. I've had it actually for several days, maybe over a week, and just everything keeps coming up that kept putting that on the back burner. So I'm just going to share it with you today. It's a brief video. A Saudi citizen speaking the truth about the Palestinians and about Israel and about Palestine. And I'm going to, I put that in quotes because there never was a country called Palestine. Palestine is when the Romans conquered the area in the 1st century BC. They changed the name to Palestine. Palestine comes from, it's Palestina, that was the Roman term, and it comes from the Philistines, Israel, the Jews at that time, mortal enemy, and so it was to humiliate the Jews, basically. That's where Palestine comes from, the word. So that's why I put this in quotes. There have been 3 Jewish states between the Mediterranean and the Jordan River. There's never been a non-Jewish state. The land, when Israel was not sovereign, there was always part of one or another empire, and most recently, until 1948, the British Empire, the British Mandate. Anyways, so this Saudi citizen, I'm going to share with you. I wish more people in the West would say this, especially in the government, but here he is, just really, you talk about speaking truth to power, here he is speaking truth to the Palestinians.
السعودية ما بقى شيء ما أعطتكم إياه، حتى دولة أسست لكم دولة، الملك فهد يوم ريغان يطلب منه تمويل زوار الكونترا قال له وحدة بوحدة أبي دولة لفلسطين، قال له أبشر، ووقع الخطاب دولة لفلسطين، وعلم الملك فهد عرفات انه حصلنا دولة فلسطينية. هرب عرفات ما شافوه الا بعد 10 سنين من هالكلام هذا، هرب ما يبي دولة فلسطينية. كلكم ما تبون دولة فلسطينية لان اساسا ما لكم قضية ولا لكم دولة ولا لكم ارض. هذه ارض اسرائيل بالقرى، وانتم شتات رومان ملفقين، مغول وتركمان وشركس وأرمن وغجر، ما لكم حق بفلسطين. فلسطين هذه دولة إسرائيلية لبني إسرائيل، وبني إسرائيل لمعلوميتكم بني إسرائيل هذولا عيال إسحاق، وحنا يا العرب عيال إسماعيل، وإسحاق وإسماعيل أخوين أبوهم إبراهيم عليه السلام، يعني هذولا عيال عمنا. لكن أنتم منين جيتوا؟ أنتم مش دخلكم بالموضوع. أنتم يا الشتات يا الغجر يا المغول يا التركمان يا الشركس يا الرومان يا بقايا الشعوب، إيش دخلكم بالموضوع؟ إيش دخلكم بالسالفة؟ إيش دخلكم بيننا؟ هذا بني إسرائيل على أرضهم، ما لكم أرض أنتم ولا لكم قضية يا جماعة. أنتم أدوختونا واشغلتونا. والأقصى، الأقصى لمعلوميتك ما عندكم أقصى، ما في شيء اسمه أقصى، في شيء اسمه القدس. المسجد الأقصى اللي ورد ذكره هو بالجعرانة 29 كيلو على الطائف، وكان المسجدين، المسجد الأقصى والمسجد الأدنى. المسجد الأقصى حقكم بناه الشام عام 72 هجري، كيف يسرى محمد له وهو مبني عام 72 للهجرة؟ يعني بعد وفاة محمد ب60 سنة. تضحكون على مين أنتم؟ تضحكون على مين؟ الفلسطيني، أنت ما أنت عربي ولا لك أرض ولا لك قضية. الأرض أرض إسرائيل والقضية قضية إسرائيل معكم. كان إسحاق شامير ورابين وشارون وجولدا مائير والثاني والله ما أدري شو اسمه، هذول كانوا أبطال، تدري ولا لا؟ لكن نتنياهو جبان، لأن نتنياهو ما حرككم، ما أدري وش يبي بالأسلحة مكدسها عنده. يا آدمي يا نتنياهو، أحرق هالعصابات هذه وهالشتات وهالملفقين وريح نفسك وريح العالم منهم وريحنا احنا منهم. ليش مخليهم؟ ليش فتح لهم الحدود يهاجرون؟ إن راحوا للأردن سووا ويلون الأسود، وإن راحوا للكويت انهبوه يوم صدام احتله، انهبوه يلبسون لبس الجيش العراقي وينهبوه. الخسة والنذالة والحقارة ما يتركونها، هذه تربيتهم وهذا دمهم وهذا عرقهم. ليش ما تريح العالم منهم يا نتنياهو إذا أنت رجال وبطل؟ ها؟ الله يلعنكم ويلعن حتى نتنياهو اللي ما خلصنا منكم، لأن نتنياهو تارك لكم الحبل على الغارب، والمفروض نتنياهو هو اللي يأدبكم وهو اللي يخلص العالم من شروركم. أنتم شر في أي دولة تحطون فيها يا الفلسطينيين، شر منزل ولا بكم رجل. أنا مستعد أنام عند يهودي ولا أنام عند فلسطيني، أنا مستعد أقلط يهودي في بيتي وأغديه وأوكله وشربه ورقده، ولا أدخل فلسطيني في بيتي. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Regarding what you just saw, I put in the title to this vlog that it was a Saudi citizen speaking truth to Palestinians. So I have to correct one fact that this gentleman, this Saudi citizen, got wrong. He said that the Palestinians are not Arabs. He said they were Mongols and gypsies, etc., etc. In fact, they are Arabs. They are Arabs, but they are mainly Egyptian and Syrians. And you can even find, I'm not going to dig it up now, but there's a 1977 statement, which is the whole idea of a Palestinian people, which are, well, if they call themselves a Palestinian people, then they themselves are saying that they are not Arabs. But they are Arabs. And as I said, in 1977, one of these Palestinians just said that it was this whole idea of a Palestinian people, which started in about 1973. I don't want to go through all the details, but if you ask me to, I will in a separate vlog. But said that was just for Western consumption. I remember, I'm old enough to remember the '67 war, and everything was about throwing Jews into the sea. We're going to throw, kill all the Jews, throw them into the sea, and they got. It's funny now, you see all this anti-Israel sentiment, but everybody was praising Israel and was on Israel's side in this '67 six-day war. So that wasn't working well for them. So they switched to a different narrative, which is to appeal to liberals and the left that we are an oppressed people, and the Jews in Israel they're actually white colonizers from Europe. Never mind that. People like me, Jews in the West, we are descended from the people who were exiled by the Romans. But even today in Israel, 2/3 of Israelis are people of color who were always there for thousands of years. Not all the Jews were exiled, but also from Yemen and Jordan and Egypt, all the surrounding countries. They were ethnically cleansed after the 48 war and of Israeli independence. But anyways, this person said, they are Yasser Arafat. Yasser Arafat was Egyptian. He was born in Cairo. So I have to correct this Saudi citizen on that, just that one point. They are, in fact, Arabs, Egyptians and Syrians mainly, and a lot of them actually emigrated. It's interesting. They emigrated. I guess this will be a long spiel. If you want to shut it off, I mean, you saw the video, but interesting point of history. Mark Twain, his book, The Innocents Abroad, he visited, that's The Innocents Abroad. He went on a world tour in 1869, and one of the places he wanted to see was Palestine. It was called Palestine at that time, but it wasn't a country again. It was part of the Ottoman Empire at that time. It would have been the Turks. And he visited, and he described what he saw, and he said the place, as I recall, he wrote about traveling for 3 days and not seeing a soul, the place being practically empty. And what happened was that the Zionists started coming back. Well, by 1869, Jerusalem was, as Twain said, sparsely populated, but Jews were the majority again. I mean, they had been thrown out. There was at one time a death penalty to any Jew who even came within sight of Jerusalem. They were the Arabs did this at the time. I forget which empire it was, but because it vied between the Abbasids and the Kurds and just a lot of people. Anyways, the point is that the Zionists came, and then with contributions from Europe, European Jews, American Jews maybe, they started building what is now modern Israel. But what happened was they created an economy, and then Arabs, the surrounding area, started emigrating to that area because it was for work. They were growing the economy there compared to even today. You compare you look at Jordan, you look at Egypt, the wealthy countries are the ones that are sitting on oil. Otherwise, they don't really they would be third world countries, like a lot of these African countries. They would be Ethiopia, they would be poor if not for the oil that they're sitting on. So that's what happened. But the point again, I guess I'm going off on this track, but it's just to correct this gentleman that Palestinians, people who want to be called Palestinians, and that's the other problem. They want to be called Palestinians, a separate people, and the Israelis are happy. They call them Palestinians too. They're happy to accommodate them, even though this was a creation that began in the 70s. But the Jews who have been there for thousands of years, 3,000 years, these Palestinians refuse to recognize the Jews as a people. That is a problem. It's not about borders. It's that the requirement to, number one, make the borders permanent, and number two, to recognize Israel as the nation state of the Jewish people. Emphasis on people. That's another thing people don't realize. There are no Christian Jews. If you're a Christian, you're not a Jew, but there are secular Jews. I'm almost a secular Jew, I guess, who are not. Israel was founded by the original Zionists, were secular Jews who obeyed none of the Jewish laws, and they did that. They ate bread, during Passover. They did not fast Yom Kippur. Did not, to make the point that they were a people. That we are a people. Jews are a people, even if they don't follow a single Jewish law. It's still still Jews. Anyways, let's see if anything else I could throw in here. As long as I'm throwing in a lot of stuff. I guess that's it. That's it for today. Yeah, okay. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Your comments welcome in the comment section below the video. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. But most of all, come back and see me again. I'd love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.